Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys are having an incredible long weekend. I know I'm having a great one with my wife as we're taking a break, enjoying some time with some family and friends. We're having a great time. You have to excuse my sniffliness because at my uncle and auntie's house, they have a cat named Kevin who's pretty much like Garfield. He just sleeps all day, but I was setting up this video and researching this morning, and he walked on the table and walked right in front of my nose. So I was starting to sneeze, and then everybody thought that I had the coronavirus, but I don't. So we are good to go. Let's get into it.
Thanks for watching my dad's channel, Crypto Media. Be sure to like, comment, and
First up, there's some interesting news coming out today from the Daily HODL. The U.S. Financial Consumer Bureau says that Ripple and XRP can deliver more transparency in the banking industry. So a CFPB report, which focuses on international money transfers under the Electronic Fund Transfer Act, reveals the agency has been tracking emerging developments in companies like Ripple with remittance markets. According to the report, they say, to the degree banks and credit unions increase their reliance on closed network payment systems for sending remittance transfers and other cross-border payments, the Bureau notes that this could result in greater standardization and ease by which sending institutions can know exact covered third-party fees and exchange rates. The Bureau also believes that expanded adoption of Swift's GPI product or Ripple's suite of products could similarly allow banks and credit unions to know the exact final amount that recipients of remittance transfers will receive before they are sent. I mean, it's kind of embarrassing that that's not already implemented in our banking system, but apparently it is not. But I know XRP, Ripple the company, can do a great job at implementing that system with their XRapid with on-demand liquidity. So there's a lot of exciting coming up, and there's a lot of competition for Swift GPI because they are so antiquated and outdated, guys, that there's a good chance that Ripple will take center stage, and they already are. And we can just be hopeful knowing that Ripple is doing the right thing and they are adapting and they are causing banks to turn their eyes at Ripple and see that they are a better solution for the problem. Now, guys, I want to talk to you a little bit about how the 4-year cycle works. Now, back in 2017, I didn't know anything about bull runs and bear runs. I mean, obviously I was aware when Bitcoin was going up 10, 20, 30, 40% a day, and when XRP started to rise dramatically, even 100% in the odd day in the winter of 2017. I didn't realize, when to cash out, when to buy, all those kind of things. I thought the bull run was going to keep going up and up and up, and it was like the stock market. It was just going to blow up for months and years, but that's not necessarily how the cycles work in cryptocurrency. So this is a great post from DIY Investing, and he says here how a 4-year cycle works. Cycles are measured from low to low. The distance between the lows comes out to 4 years, give or take a week or two. So this could actually be the correlation between the Bitcoin halvings and this 4-year cycle of the 4-year halving. You can see that from the bottom of Bitcoin's correction in 2015, it was exactly 4 years to the bottom of the bear cycle in 2019. Let me zoom in on this a little bit, guys. So you can see here, end of the 4-year cycle here in January 2019, and then it looks like we cycled high in December 27th of 2021. Okay, so that's, he copied this in. Okay, so we're right here, guys, in this market cycle. So we are kind of halfways into or a quarter of the ways into a new market cycle. So we are just kind of teetering on the edge of bull territory, guys. So we are just consolidating, and there's a lot of movement coming up, a lot of buy action, and we are hitting up into bull territory, guys. So we can be very hopeful that, I wouldn't necessarily recommend cashing out at the end of 2020, maybe taking some profits if it goes up quite a bit, but maybe we should be looking at cashing out at the end of 2021. Hopefully that makes sense. Let me know in the comments, guys, if that makes sense. This is some startling news from Gold Telegraph this morning, guys. So I'm in Canada, so for the fellow Canadians out there, it says Canada's economy will shrink by 42% annualized in 3 months through June 30th from the prior quarter. Canadians have lost nearly 44% of their purchasing power when measured against gold over the year. Remember, the country of Canada holds 0 gold, guys. So it sounds like Trudeau, a few months after he was elected, 6 years ago, 5 years ago, the first time, it sounds like he just liquidated our gold reserves, guys. So I'm very nervous that hyperinflation could ensue very quickly, which is why it's very wise of us to have a hedge in cryptocurrency. I'm not being crazy about XRP in this video. I mean, that's obviously what I'm bullish about, guys, but I'm also bullish about Tezos. I'm bullish about other projects like Chainlink and stuff as well that have very real use case, guys, that have real utility being built out on their networks. You know, the Oracle networks are very fascinating. We're going to get that into a video. If you guys want me to talk about a specific project in the video coming up, let me know in the comments, and I'd love to get into it as well too, guys. So let me know. So here's from XRP Memes and News. I say, let the normies buy Bitcoin and we take the real deal. This is going to be like Netflix being laughed at by Blockbuster when they had a chance to buy the company. Doesn't that eerily feel so similar, guys, with Ripple? It honestly feels like that's what we're getting into, is that, like, you know, the traditional banks and Swift, you know, you could compare Swift to Blockbuster, guys, and how they're antiquated technology. They just didn't want to grow and evolve and adapt with the world, with the way the world was moving. And then they got taken down by Netflix, by a startup, right? So that's just what's happening here. Here's an article from The Atlantic here, and please ignore the ads here. I don't have a subscription with the site. We can prevent a Great Depression. It'll take $10 trillion. I'm not going to get into this article, guys, but don't think of it as a number as big or bold. Just think of it as the appropriate dosage for a once-in-a-century economic affliction. So guys, look here. Small business activity has plunged nationwide by nearly 50%. Hundreds of thousands of companies have already failed. Big retailers such as J. Crew, Neiman Marcus have filed for bankruptcy, while others, including Macy's, are teetering. By some measures, scarcely 1/3 of Americans say they are working. Next month's job report will likely show that for the first time since World War II, a majority of Americans aren't officially employed. So that, guys, this is crazy. I mean, like, the stimulus packages and everything coming out with the CARES Act and everything, the $600 benefit for unemployed workers lapsing in July. Guys, it's just, we can't turn into the state-fed, you know, system where we rely 100% on the government. You need to rely on a better economy, a bigger economy. And I'm not saying rely just on cryptocurrency, but also, you know, have gold reserves, have backup plans in place, but don't have all your money in cash. It's not financial advice, guys, but honestly, cash is going out the wazoo. It's not going to be here to stay, and it's good to hedge your investments and safe havens in your assets, in digital assets like XRP and stuff, guys. So you need to think about that. Not financial advice, but just my prerogative. That's what I'm doing. That's my example. Is I'm completely out of general investments, and I'm going to move this mic because I need to record the screen here in a second. But check this out about the DTC. I'm sure you guys have heard about DTCC a little bit, but I want you guys to watch this video so you can find out a little bit more what it is all about.
So can you tell us a little bit about what DTCC does and how blockchain is applicable?
Sure. So nice to be here. Thanks, everybody. So by way of background, DTCC has served as the primary market infrastructure for the securities industry for the past 45 years. And what we do there is we clear and settle all security transactions in the U.S. and we provide post-trade processing around the globe. And just to put that in perspective, because we're all CFOs and we love numbers, last year DTCC processed $1.6 quadrillion worth of transactions, and we custody and asset service securities issued by over 130 countries worth $57 trillion. We actually have made quite a bit of progress in advancing a distributed ledger concept for what we call our trade information warehouse. And our trade information warehouse is an application that supports lifecycle management and asset servicing for credit derivative transactions, which approximate about $11 trillion around the world. And we've been working with IBM, Axoni, and R3 on this application for about 18 months. And about a week ago, we announced that we're going into user acceptance testing with 15 global banks. So we're really pleased with what we've seen. We've learned a lot along the way. But we're actually going to be launching this application in production in 2019. So we started looking at blockchain about 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I think for everybody, it was really just kind of, a theory. And for us, it's actually turned into a real use. What we did is we didn't want to start with our riskiest, securities clearance business. So
Probably smart. Probably smart.
Yes. Do no harm is that first and foremost.
Exactly.
So we picked an application that we needed to re-platform anyway, that was had a very stable data model, and that had a finite set of banks that we work with that really wanted to.
Cool. So these guys are responsible for over $1 quadrillion of transactions worldwide a year, which is amazing. And she mentioned in the video that they're partnered with R3 Corda, which is obviously a Ripple partner, and they are onboarding XRP for the rails of cross-border payments with R3. So I've heard that there's other videos, guys, talking about this. Kevin Cage, Variable Bull, that DTCC is partnered with Ripple. I can't verify that, but there's a good chance they are, being she mentioned R3 in there. And that was kind of funny that they didn't even in the transcription didn't mention R3 in there. They cut it out. So that was kind of funny. Here's a post from the Intellectual Entertainment. The biggest investments are often the ones with the least consensus. If you want to join the 1%, then you will have to go against the opinions from the 99%. Do what is unpopular and look the other way. Now, guys, XRP isn't one of the most popular, even though it's very popular. It's not the most, smiled upon currency, digital assets in the space. There's a lot of hate for the company Ripple. People say it's centralized. People say it's a crap coin, everything like that, guys. But you need to know what you hold, guys. I know this is they call it the banker's coin and stuff, but it really is a game changer, and it's going to provide international adoption for cryptocurrencies. And I think it's leading the charge in this, guys. And we've seen this over the last 30, 40 videos I've done, and many other people in the XRP community making videos, that there's a lot of research going into this. There's a lot of FUD out there, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. But we have to ignore the FUD, and we have to know what we hold, and we have to join consensus with the people that know that they're holding an investment that has real value, real utility, and that is going to go up eventually. I'm not saying it's this month. I'm not saying it's next month or later this year, but there's a good chance this is the year of the digital asset. That's what the company Ripple has said. That's what Brad Garlinghouse has said. And we are just, we're the year of the digital asset, guys. And whatever that means for 2020, I know it's going to be big. I know it's going to be huge. And I hope you're going to stick around for the ride and not sell before. Because I know so many times, like, we might sell and get weary, and then in a few days, we start shooting up in value. So don't get weary. Don't get fearful. Don't get disillusioned, guys, with this project, because there's a reason the price is being held down. I think the reality that the price isn't fluctuating more is so bullish to me, guys, is that the price is being suppressed by the institutions, and it's only a matter of time till they flip the switch. Okay? Ripple Potency, the Coin Republic here, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the CFPB. All right, guys, so the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, an independent agency of the U.S. government, in a recent report has admitted the potency Ripple owns. This agency thinks that Ripple XRP is of use in enhancing transparency in the remittance industry. The Bureau of Consumer Financial Protection is assigned with the responsibility to protect consumers from misleading market practices. Along with this, it provides consumers with relevant information in making financial decisions. I mean, XRP is transparency, guys. The distributed ledger technology. I mean, Ripple, the company, has been transparent with us with the escrow allocation and all that for all along. I mean, I'm not guaranteeing there's not non-disclosure agreements with companies, but as much as they can be transparent with us about what's going on, guys, I feel like they have been, and I feel like we can trust what's going on with them. And Brad Garlinghouse is very keen to do interviews on many. This is on Fox Business recently, and I think you should check out this video. It's about a minute long, but he has a lot of good reason for why the price is sluggish right now in XRP, why it hasn't gone up, and he provides some really good cause for that. Check this out.
Or 3 months. I think over the long term. Look, I think it's lagged maybe because, in part, the U.S. government has provided clarity about Bitcoin. They've provided clarity about Ether, but then they've remained silent about the third, most valued digital asset in XRP. I think regulators have a hard problem. These are new technologies, and I think there's work to be done there. And I think our track record shows that. And we're very transparent about what we do with the XRP we own. In fact, I think we've really tried to challenge the whole crypto community to be more transparent. Unfortunately, we don't know who owns the vast majority of Ether. We don't know, what different companies are doing. Ripple's trying to lead by example because we think the whole crypto community should be more transparent if we want this to be a major industry going forward.
We don't know if the so-called creator of Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto, even exists. Is it a man, a woman, a person? Have you met this person? Do you believe
I
it's
don't
a
even
human?
know. Maybe you're Satoshi Nakamoto.
I could be. I mean, is that just a concept?
So, the transparency, guys, with XRP in comparison to Bitcoin and some other digital assets, guys, like Monero privacy coins, there's some cryptocurrencies that are going out of their way to make sure there's no transparency. But that's not what Ripple is trying to do here, guys. They're trying to open the doors and level the playing field and have more transparency than, maybe what the bankers currently have now, guys. There's not a lot of transparency in the financial world, but with fintech innovation coming down the line and Ripple leading the charge in this, guys, there's a lot of adoption and a lot of interest in Ripple, the company, and there are so many integrations already in play that we don't even know about, and I'm just so stoked for all that's happening this year. Guys, I've got a few more links, but this is getting to be a little bit longer video, but again, I apologize for the sound of the mic. I'm using a Tascam little lapel mic because my Blue Yeti microphone is at home right now while I'm away this weekend. So thank you for tuning in. I appreciate the likes, comments, and subscribes. Gently tap that notification bell and I'll let you know about the next video. But I appreciate your support. Even the negative hate comments, guys. I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be perfect, but I'm just here to provide value. I'm here to increase your mindset and build belief in XRP, in cryptocurrency, in digital asset space. So I appreciate you guys coming along for the ride, and I thank you so much for tuning in. Take care, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Thanks for watching my dad's channel, Crypto Media. Be sure to